It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
This is the Cosmick Voice. Cosmick Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cosmick Voice. This is Season 6, Episode 10. I am here with my co-host, Chris Natalini.
Merry Christmas!
And I am Mick Michaels. Welcome back, everyone, to another show. Ho, ho, ho! What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well, dude. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic.
Nice.
Unbelievably fantastic.
It is. We're closing in on Christmas.
We are there. We're looking at it. We're staring at it.
Yeah, we are.
That's what it says on the calendar.
We're tripping into it.
More like rolling down the steps.
Yeah, well, we're that. Yep, we're that.
Bouncing into hallways.
Oh,
stumbling over ourselves.
That's bad.
The eating's been unbelievable this year.
Unbelievable. And my bad eating habits started in like October.
Yeah, well, you hit the Halloween season hard. I try to avoid it.
I did, bro.
I try to avoid it, but it just doesn't seem to be. I guess the older we get, the less we care, and that's really the easy way to put it.
You know what? I do care.
I care after I'm done eating it. I go. I got it. I can't do this anymore until the next time.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Before I'll be honest with you, like having the shows booked would give me a point of reference, right? Like a goal. But now I'm like at the point, well, a couple more pounds doesn't matter. I'll just wear a loose shirt.
I'll wear a bigger shirt.
I wear a bigger shirt. Oh, you know what? I wear a vest.
Because you do, like, that's your thing. Like, not to break down the fourth wall, but that's what you do, right? Like, you get stage ready, as they say in the business.
Yeah, well, you have to. Yeah, I mean,
you do.
Yeah, when we have like a 10-day tour or something, like we're going to be on the road, I'll do fasting and stuff like that, because it's not uncommon, at least for us, because you're eating at weird times and you're eating not so great food, to come back and you're a little heavier than you expect. So I try to knock off something, and it's, you're constantly on the go, so I want to be, mobile, flexible, and I don't want to have any extra baggage. So you go into this thing. And I mean, I would do that with shows, even if it's week to week or, however you have it. I would, like, that's your pin drop point. And you're like, okay, I know I got to drop a couple pounds here or do that. And that just kind of keeps you focused. Yeah. But I'll tell you, man, that focus is just not, it's just, even having the shows booked isn't strong enough now to keep me from eating. You're
like, where are we playing? Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't really matter. Because, I'm even getting into the thing, well, where are we playing? I don't have to shave. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's more of a rough and tumble area. They'll appreciate a little bit more of a rugged look. You know what I mean?
So true, dude. It is so true.
I mean, God, over the past summer, like, I had let my beard grow in. I was starting to get the Grizzly Adams look, and I was like, oh, man, maybe this bush on, and again, I know it's become more of a thing for metal bands to have this wild mountain man look. It's, and that was never my style, but it became my style out of sheer laziness. So, there you go. So if anybody was wondering, man, Mick's, the goatee and everything got like, but that's just, laziness.
Do you think a big bushy beard fits your style of music?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I never had a full, like in between things, I would have a full beard. When I was younger, like it was, I guess when you go through a certain stage, you grow in the beard and all that kind of stuff. And I used to do different shaving things. Like I had the Tombstone look for a while, the big handlebar mustache with my chin shaved out, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had that, the Star Trek sideburns, the Captain Kirk's. Then I had the big mutton chops for a long time. But I've had the goatee for a long, long time. But you keep it well trimmed. You know what I mean? Kind of like the George Michael trimmed. But with real hair, not spray-on hair. The Kip Winger.
Yeah, the Kip Winger. Yeah.
So, but the big bushy look, I don't know, and even so, we had over the summer we had done a photo shoot with this, while I still had the big beard, and I'm like, I don't know, man, that just doesn't look. I don't know, it doesn't work. It's not working for what I'm. But then again, like Mad T has a beard. He's always had a beard. Sometimes it's bigger, big beard. It's fuller, I should say, than at times. But whatever. And it always seemed to work for him. So that kind of allowed us to, I hate to use that kind of word, but, opened up the doors for us to grow a little bit more facial hair. Because it is more accepted today. I mean, if you think about it, back in the 80s, facial hair was not really a thing. The guy that had it was kind of always stood out, right? It was like a clean cut thing. Because beard and makeup in the 80s just didn't kind of look too good. You know what I mean? Like, what's this clown pulling off? Where's his white van at? You know what I mean?
The guys in Tiger Tails did not match with beards and goatees.
Yeah. The funny thing, I get a kick out of today, you get these guys, you see these pictures, the photo stuff comes in or whatever, and they're all in this, like white face and like, this stuff in their, I don't know, like quasi-kiss kind of, whatever that stuff is. I don't know what the hell they call it. Is it goth? Is it kabuki? Is it death metal? Is it, black metal? I don't know, whatever. And then they got this big bushy beard that has some of the white residue still in it from the makeup on the face. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Are we clowns? I don't get it. I'm not exactly sure what that is. It's kind of freaky. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how that really all plays to your music, but... And, my beard or lack thereof has no bearing on how I'm playing music. So it's more, like I said, I'm going to go back to, it's just sheer laziness. I'm sorry to say, you know what I mean? So
yeah, but I think that like what you guys play, not that there's anything wrong with having beards or goatees, but I think like your sound is more sleek. So, big bushy beards and stuff like that, like it doesn't match your...
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, listen, I think that whatever it is that you choose to do or look like, I think it should somewhat relate to your style of music, what it is that you're trying to bring about. Like, all of a sudden, if we started wearing... in both, if we started wearing like eyeliner or rouge and lipstick, I don't think that's like putting stuff on a pig for us. It just isn't going to, like, it'd be like, well, it doesn't add anything. And then all of a sudden, if we started wearing like, war paint, that wouldn't work either. So that's part of the package. So it has to kind of work together. I don't think that, again, I'm going to go back to, this was just laziness on my part. I don't think that it was a huge stretch, like it didn't really knock us down visually any way, shape, or form. I just didn't feel that it was, like, it didn't represent exactly what I was trying to, so I had to kind of say, look, 35 seconds and you got it all trimmed up, so why don't you take care of it? You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
And to say that, like, if I'm ever usually talking about you and you guys aren't around, music style-wise, I usually refer you guys as sounding like Judas Priest. Because when I hear you guys, I always think of Judas Priest. But speaking of beards, like, I see Rob Halford and I go, God, dude, will you please shave that thing? Like, he just looks like a bald Santa Claus. I hate it. I hate that he has this big bushy beard. I do. I don't like it. And I don't know why. Like, I look at him and I go, dude, it makes you look so much older.
Yeah, I'm not a real fan of that beard look for him because, he's got it really, it's super circular. Like, it's got, like, perfect curves.
It's a great word, yes.
Yeah, listen, word. It's well-groomed and definitely taken care of, but I'm not sure that I'm a fan of it. Now, here's the thing. A perfect example, like, Ian Hill always had facial hair.
Always had a beard, yeah, you're right.
Les Binks had facial hair.
Yeah.
Even
right.
Dave Holland had a mustache. Even KK sported a mustache for a while. So, and then, Richie has
yeah.
a bit of a beard. Like,
Yeah, Richie has
close
it, yeah.
So, again, I guess it fit that character for them. It worked well. Like, it wasn't big and bushy, kind of like it is now for Halford. But, hey, listen, you know what I mean? What are you going to do?
I'm just like, dude, shave it. Like, and I thought it was very sweet. I have, not that I've ever searched it out, and I don't care. But I just saw him, as the time of recording this, I just saw him post a picture with him and his husband.
Yes, I seen
which
that.
I've never seen him do before. First of all, I looked at his husband. I'm like, no, that's not. He wasn't what I expected Rob Halford's husband to look like. I don't know what I expected him to look like.
Right.
I just didn't expect him to look like that. I don't really know I don't have an answer why. Like, I was just kind of surprised. But I'm like, dude, if he loves you, he would tell you to shave that beard.
Right.
If he loves you as much as he says he does,
yeah,
he should tell you to shave the beard.
I hear you.
Because it just really makes him look older. And Halford's a badass dude, and I don't know if he thinks that beard looks badass. Maybe it does to more people than me. I'm just not a fan. Like, I don't mind him having a beard. I just think he should, and I don't mind it being gray. I just think he should trim it down a little bit. I think it's a little too. You're right. It's very round, and it doesn't look right to me. So when I see him, I'm like, God, I wish he would just shave that thing.
Shave that beard, Rob.
Yeah, or at least trim it close, dude. Like something. Like he's,
Listen, you may start a movement. You may start a movement.
Please. Hey, listen, his husband may love it, so that could be why he's doing it too. He don't care what anybody else says. If his husband likes it, he's like, I'm doing
well, that's true too. I know, like he's got pictures up. Like I guess he's been hitting the gym because he's looking like he's putting on some muscle.
Great.
Yeah, how old is he?
Great.
Is he in his, is he in his 70s now? I guess he is. Right?
He would have to be, bro, because he was in his early 20s, right? When excuse me, when Priest hit, right?
Yeah. So, again, I mean, these guys, they're still touring. They're still doing what they're doing. These guys are staying in shape. Yeah. So
72.
72. So, I mean.
He's 72.
Man, I hope I can even just stand up at 72.
Yeah.
But that's, hey, listen, man, whatever works. It's, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I just, again, like you guys, like Priest is very slick sounding. Like when I hear them, I don't think of them wearing. But no, I mean, you always said Ian Hill always had a beard, but it was very like close.
Yeah, it was close beard.
Trimmed.
Yeah.
And when I hear Halford, I don't think if he had a goatee, like I'd be okay with that too. I'm not big on the white beard.
Yeah, but I said, it's. I mean, I think like today, it's like facial hair is more acceptable across the board. I mean, because you got pop stars now. Because I mean, think about it. Pop stars were always really clean and pristine. Like real sharp.
Yes.
And now you got them, now everybody's, maybe they're a little bit more rugged. They got tattoos.
Yeah.
Which, I don't have problems with tattoos, but it's like you're either on their face and maybe their hair's a little, whatever.
Yeah, it's a little more acceptable now.
Yeah,
right?
so, it's just part of that thing. So, who knows? I don't know. More power to him if it works for him.
Yeah, more power to him, bro. I mean, he's still Rob Halford. He's still badass.
Rob Halford.
That's right.
It's Russ the Boss.
This is Stephen Pearson from Rat, the Rat Bastard. You're listening to the Cosmick Voice.
So here we are. This is our Just Talking episode. That's it. We're just going to talk. There's no specific topic. We're winging it. We didn't pre-plan anything. This was something that we've been talking about. Hey, can we get away with it? We've kind of mentioned it in previous episodes, just kind of, having fun. But discussions across the table, we said, hey, let's give it a shot. Why not? Let's see what happens. What are we going to talk about? And that's it for our show. So thanks so much for listening. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year. So you see what happens when you don't have topics. We don't know what to talk about.
No, we did, and this season has kind of been we've had topics, but if you listen to a lot of the beginning of the shows where we kind of banter back and forth, it's gotten, we've gotten into some serious discussions. We're almost like two, you almost get two episodes in one. There's, some of the things that we've talked about as of late.
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely been expanding our, I mean, what is it? It's not a monologue because there's two of us. I don't know what they would call it with two people. You know, our intro segment to segue into the thing. It's been getting, you know, because I think originally we were doing it like we try to keep it under 10 minutes and then we get into the topic. But lately with the ranting and raving, it's been going into almost a half an hour. So, you know, and like I said, we've joked around saying, hey, can we get away with doing this? Because I've listened to other podcasts and they just talk. Just guys get together and kind of round table it, you know. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you know, it's funny you said that because when you and I discussed about doing it this episode, talked about doing, one, right before the holidays, which just seems to be the perfect one because we don't want to get too heavy before the holidays. I've been paying more attention, I guess, to other podcasts and just kind of, listening to, and a lot of them they really just kind of riff back and forth. I mean, obviously the number one podcast in the world is Rogan, and that's pretty much all he does. He just goes and riffs, and that's his his shtick, so to speak. But can we discuss the new Spotify rules, or the changes that they've made? Have we discussed that?
We actually did talk about some of it.
Right?
Yeah, we touched upon it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I'm more concerned about where that leaves artists and bands that, one, don't have a label, don't have a backing, don't have the financial means, or aren't getting the streams. I mean, look, let's be honest. Most of us don't get heavy streams. Because if we did, again, like I joked around, like we wouldn't be doing this podcast. None of you would be listening to this podcast because you'd already have it figured out. You'd be focusing in on your audience. And they're going to limit how they're going to pay out if you don't get, say we release a song and it doesn't get 1,000 streams in that year's time, you get no payout. One, think about what that means. If I don't get 1,000 streams in a year, it takes them 12 months to make that decision. So I could go 9, 10 months, 11 months, I got 600 streams. Maybe I have to wait till the 12th month to see if I can get 400 more streams, then get the payout. So I release a song in December, I don't get paid until 12 months, 13 months following. So, you know what I mean? So that's crazy. And then there's the possibility that I don't get anything at all because I don't do 1,000 streams. And then what they do is they take that money and they're going to distribute it among other artists, usually top level artists. So they actually get a cut of your money. And a lot of people are calling that stealing. There's been a movement over the last couple months that people want you to go, talk to your legislators and stop this. And I don't know. Can we stop it? I'm not sure.
I think if we was going to stop, it would have to be people bigger than us, right? Like, obviously independent artists, we're not looked at as we should be. Obviously we're not on the same playing field, but it would have to be somebody like a Taylor Swift or your Metallicas or your Pinks. They would have to come out and go, listen, this isn't fair. Because I think somebody like those people, I think they're the ones that are going to make a difference, as awful as that sounds. And I could be totally wrong. I mean, for independent artists to cause a wave in that, I think we would all have to band together. And there are some bands that don't care. And that's okay. I don't judge them. In my opinion, I think it would have to be some bigger names that would have to come out against it and go, we're pulling our music, or, this has to change. And I don't know. I don't know if they even would. I mean, how many artists nowadays are not still on Spotify? I mean, your big names, right? Garth Brooks is one of them. Beatles is now on. AC/DC is now on. Def Leppard is now on. All these bands that were holding off, and now they're all on it. I don't even know.
Some of them, say for Def Leppard, I think the stuff that's on is the stuff that they had sold. Like they sold a part of their catalog. A lot of these bands are starting to sell off their catalog because they're realizing that
that's where the money is.
I'll make all the money now because I'll never make that in streaming. Because these bands had already made money. Now they're just cashing in on what's left.
Yeah.
At their age, the payday is unbelievable. It doesn't matter if they ever come out with anything again. I'm not putting them down for it. It's a fantastic business move. That's why you're starting to, some of these songs are showing up on commercials now. Songs that you're like, oh, wow, look at that. It's because these guys are selling off parts of their catalog. And then they can do whatever they want to do with them, whoever owns them at this point. So, it's a crazy business. Listen, and like we talked about in some other episodes, for us, it's not really about the money because the money isn't that big of an impact. It's the principle of it. Because
it is the principle.
You give them an inch, they take a mile type of thing. Because if they can do that, what happens when the stakes are really big? That's how you lose your rights in anything, or your opportunity in anything. Because they nickel and dime you. They kind of whittle away at your rights, at what you could do, and now you can't do. It's amazing that as a society we allow these things to continue to happen. Like, we're paying this price and we get this. And then, over time, they change things. It's still this price or maybe more, but we're getting less.
Yeah.
And they're doing that with streaming services for the television, the viewing type of thing, all the time. It keeps going up and up and up. The price keeps going up, and they keep giving you less and less and less and less. I mean, some of these things, unless you're paying the premium price for the streaming services, viewing, you're getting TV commercials. Right?
Well,
we're right back to where we were when we had 3 stations.
Yeah, and that's, and I was reading an article not very long ago. The article was saying about all these streaming services, upping their price and, splitting it ads, no ads. And that model is going back in the day because that's what worked. The commercials were making the companies money. So now if I sit through your commercial, they're going to get money. Like, YouTube. Listen, I hate commercials. I complain every time a commercial comes on. But when it's YouTube and I'm watching like a vlogger, I don't mind watching their commercials because I know they get money for it. Like, I'm okay with that. But if I'm on Hulu, I don't want to sit through a commercial. I shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to ask me to pay for more money to not watch ads. I think it's ridiculous. But I understand the model used to work back in the day, and now they're trying it again. But I can't imagine that these streaming services are losing money because that's all we have. I don't even know anybody that has normal cable anymore. Everybody I know has apps, and that's how they watch their TV, whether it's YouTube app or Apple TV or Paramount, whatever. And I'm like, I shouldn't have to pay more for commercials. I shouldn't have to pay more. I really shouldn't.
Oh, I hear you. Now, listen, a real quick hack when you're watching YouTube, and I'm sure most people know about this if you're a YouTuber, when you go into your app and, whatever they populate the queue with, if you watch the videos in the queue, you just put the volume on, put the sound on, take the closed captions off, you won't get any commercials. It's when you click on it and it opens up as the video itself. The only thing is you don't have the controls as you would once you open the video. Like, you can't jump ahead and all that. I mean, you can scan ahead a little bit back and forth. But,
right.
And your phone moves or you shake it up or whatever. Not necessarily start all over again. Sometimes it'll pick up where it left off, or it'll start from the beginning, but then there's a white line that will show you where you stopped at. But it does show up in your history, so you can always go back to it. But believe it or not, that's how I watch a lot of my videos. I don't open them up. Yeah, because I can't stand the commercials either.
Oh.
If it's something that I want to keep going back to and repeating and stuff like that, I will open it. But most of the time, the video, for car commercials or something like I'm not buying those cars, buddy. So I don't want to watch them. I understand that they monetize for the YouTubers' channels. I get that.
I do too.
And they're getting their nickel and diamond. I get all that. But if I can avoid it, then I'm going to avoid it.
Yeah, but how much are you willing to pay to avoid it? I mean,
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, no.
You literally, like, if you got rid of cable because you were paying too much, but yet you keep paying these costs of these apps for no ads, you're back to square one. You are literally back to what you're paying for cable. Right. Because that's why everybody got rid of cable, right? Because, everybody wanted to go app-based and, got rid of your cable and you're working off Wi-Fi and you got the Rokus and your Amazons and all this. But
right, and once they funnel everybody in, then they can do whatever they want because it's hard to turn back when you got hundreds and thousands and millions of people behind you. It's like, well, that door, that where I came in at is pretty far back. I don't know if I can, kind of find my way, and then I got to fight all these people. I'll just keep going forward. What's another couple dollars? They know that. That's why they used to, when they would hammer people into gym contracts. Statistically, I forget what it is. It's high. I mean, like 65% of people or something like that, they don't even use their gym membership, but they continue to pay.
Don't use gym, yep.
But they go, maybe I'll do it, or but the holidays, and I'll get started in January, and then come January 5th, you're done, you know what I mean? But I'll pay for it. It's there if I need it. I know tons of people like that. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me, man. Just put it in your house. Get the gym.
I wouldn't be surprised if not half, close to half of people that have gym memberships still pay and do not go.
Oh man, come on!
Like, you know,
lots.
Yeah, like if I was talking to the guy that runs one of my local Planet Fitnesses here, if I sat down with him, he would probably go, "Yeah, that's probably about half, if not completely half, close to."
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, and and in some of those gyms where it's like $10 a month, or if like real inexpensive, and
you're definitely not,
and you have it on some Cash App type of thing that's just kind of automatically, you're not even seeing it. Like, I mean, in the old days, like gym memberships used to be, I mean, you'd have to pay like $50 a month. They were insane. Yeah. There's still gym memberships like that. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
yeah, especially for your more elite places. But when these other gyms, like, they made it so affordable that you don't even notice the money's gone. You're like, okay, but you know what I mean. But you get more than half of your membership doing that. Man, that's free money. It's free money.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's more of a hassle to I'll cancel that next month. And then next month goes, you forget it, 6 months later, you're 35 pounds heavier. Maybe I should use that. Oh, that's right. I still got a gym membership. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it's crazy, man. I mean, they got us coming and going.
It is crazy.
And that's exactly what they're doing, say, with Spotify. But again, I get that. Listen, you're at the mercy of all these type of services because they're eliminating all the other ways of doing things. And this is what you're left with, right? Primarily, most people communicate, interact, do work, socialize on their phone. Everything's right there. It's to the touch.
Yes.
I mean, I do it as well because you have no choice. I mean, I can't get to a pay phone. It's not like a laptop is readily available while I'm driving, or I guess I could stop at a Burger King or somewhere, but then you got to touch them and you don't know what people been, and somebody has ketchup all over the keyboard or something. You know what I mean? But anyway, my point is everything's there, so they know that. Like I said, they funnel you in. But my big concern, like I said before, is where does that leave the independent artist that doesn't have the backing? It's actually daunting because it's going back to, if I can't get my music out there, what am I left with? Well, you got to get creative and you got to do this. Sometimes it's not that easy. Like, we can all talk about it and we make it seem like it is, but it's not. The easy part is writing and recording the music. And then you're left with the question, what do I do? What do I do? And when distribution was put into our hands, so to speak, right? What we didn't understand is though we were able to do this as independent artists, create our own type of distribution package. All we were doing is we were being thrown in a pit with everybody else. Once you were thrown in the pit, you had to fend for yourself because you don't get the same recognition that you think you do. There was this belief that, oh man, now I can be on, when iTunes opened the doors I'm on iTunes now. That was the cool thing. People were like, wow, you're on iTunes.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It meant nothing unless you knew exactly what you were looking for, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find myself. Right? You know what I mean? And if you don't have that link, then how do people find you? Think they're just all of a sudden pops up like, boom, Chris Natalini's now on iTunes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't put it in the New York Times. Like, so it's not like, So that's what I mean. And we take a step forward, couple steps back now. Step forward, 3 steps back now. The same thing's happening. Like I said in other episodes, if you want it, you got to pay for it. I'm seeing it everywhere, man. Everybody's paying for it. Like, I mean, here's the thing. I'll give you a quick example. This doesn't necessarily have to do with streaming, but how everybody's paying for it. There's a couple bands that I follow. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even sure why I follow them because I don't listen to their music at all. They're not that they're not bad bands. They're good bands. They're solid bands. I'm more interested in their public persona because something doesn't resonate with what I'm seeing. Because it's like, if their online persona is what it's made out to be, why aren't they someplace else? To me, that's a curiosity. Like, I want to see, like, how's their PR? What's their model and how are they doing this? I'm convinced, I'm not mentioning any names, I'm convinced 200%, even though 200% doesn't exist, that they're buying everything that you're seeing online. Here's an example. I've been fortunate enough to meet like actual musicians that have made this a career and are working with bigger name people. It hasn't helped my career, but I'm just saying I've been fortunate enough to meet them. I actually know some from childhood. Some people, right? Mm-hmm. That, More power to them. They've been doing it for 40 years. They're big names or bigger names, and the people they're working with are the big names. When these people put posts out and they get a couple hundred likes, okay, and I'm talking about the people that are really doing it. And then these other bands that I'm following, they put a goofy picture out or something like that, and it doubles and triples the amount that the person who's actually working for a big name. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense.
100%. I see
And
exactly
like,
what you're saying.
it doesn't balance out. I'm not talking about like Brett Michaels putting something out and then Mick Michaels putting something out. There's a huge night and day, right? I'll be the first one to tell you. I put posts out, nobody looks at them. It's crickets. That's it. I put out, Happy Holidays on Christmas Eve, and that's my biggest post of the year because it's safe. I'm not asking you to like anything. I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm not asking you to come to the show.
Right. Yep.
I didn't let you know that my band just released something. It's just a picture. Happy Holidays.
Yeah.
People come out of the woodworks that I haven't ever talked to. But it struck me. I'm saying to myself, if someone who's in the business, like really in the business, like is not an independent artist, is signed to a major label, tours the world, plays in front of massive amounts of people consistently,
Has been doing it for years.
Has a track record, a real track record.
Yeah.
Only gets, I don't know, I mean, some it's like 115, others it's like 235 or whatever. And then you get this unknown band that has a post out that says nothing, some picture, and there's thousands of likes.
Yeah.
And then it's inconsistent because you'll have 1,500 or something. And then there's one that has like 14.
Yeah.
You didn't boost that one to get the likes. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, these are telltale signs. And I understand that this is part of the business now because it's about recognition. It's getting people out there. But it's like eating cereal or candy bars. They're empty calories in the sense that they have no nutritional value. It's all negative.
Value, yeah.
So, what's the point? Like, so I'm going to go back to the streams make a difference if you're paying for them. Well, no, not really, because those people that you got the streams from, they're not really listening to your crap anyway. You want to increase your streams? You listen to your crap, right? You keep streaming your crap over and over again. Then your streams will go up. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. And, that is the craziness that we're in right now, with the YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever. Like, you can buy these things and it just makes, perception. It's just crazy. But you're right. Like, if you get someone that, that's actually doing it, that's legit doing it for a living, and you can see the difference. You can see where it doesn't make sense. And that's completely that's what bothers me the most. I think that if my band posts something and we get 15 likes, anybody and their mother can go, "Oh, they only got 15 likes," but those 15 are real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather have real numbers than fake numbers. And we can argue this, and I listen. I know there's a lot of other artists out there that look at other artists and go, "Oh, they only got 13 likes on their post, but at least they're real." And that's how I feel about it. I would rather if my numbers are low, that's okay because I know they're real numbers.
I think that artists have gotten into the mindset that it doesn't matter if they're real or not. It's what is perceived. It's what it's what you can sell to the population. And that's why, like, everything's twisted and turned and up and down, and it just doesn't make sense. So as artists, it's like, what's our point and purpose now? What's our function? Listen, it's show business. I get it. So there's a lot of manipulation that happens. A lot of it's not real. It's smoke and mirrors. I get it. It's entertainment. I get it. I do get it.
It's always
yeah. I mean, the thing is I don't want to watch an artist who's miserable. I realize Stephen Wright made a whole career in comedy being kind of like a whatever. But is that what you want in your favorite artist? No, you want to look at that person and go, I want to be them. I want to feel empowered. I want to feel, and that's one of the things that drew me to metal music, the empowerment. Like, oh man, that kind of thing, what it made me feel. Are we trying to manipulate things so much that that's more important than the craft? Like, I mean, like, are you going around lying? Then you have to live that lie. It's one thing I guess. See, here's the thing. I guess, and I'm not even clear on this, but the thing is people at our level, our independence level, the bottom of the ladder, we want to do what the big guys are doing. And we've learned over the years that some of this is just a show. It's just a shtick.
Yeah.
You know, Alice Cooper to some degree, right? Kiss. They were trying to create this larger than life and kind of separate it from the human element, that it was something more super. I get that, and everybody wants that.
Yeah.
But nowadays, things are different. I mean, they really are. Like, we know that everything that we see on TV isn't real. At least that it should be. I mean, if people are still kind of if they're missing that, then maybe we need a class in it or something, or maybe we've lost our minds. Like, maybe the cell phones have eradicated a lot of our brains over the last 25 years, because like reality TV isn't real. Like, nothing's ever been real. Right. If it's put on TV, it's not necessarily real. There's some argument that even our news isn't real. So I don't know. Everything's manipulated to whatever that agenda is. What's our point as an independent artist? Listen, I understand that Spotify is doing some of these things to get a handle on a lot of this misappropriate streaming models. I mean, I remember Facebook for a while, a number of years ago, like if you were found to have fake likes or populated likes, you know, from like, say, the Middle East, they would wipe them out. There was a band that I was doing some shows with. This was years ago. They're doing all this promo stuff, and we were put on the shows. We did like 4 or 5 shows with them. And I was like, yeah, sure, you know, I mean, it just got us out there. But I'm like, well, who are these guys? Like, I don't, you know, and they had several 100,000 likes on the Facebook. This was my first introduction to them, right? We had a company contact, said, hey, would you be interested in doing some shows? I'm like, yeah, sure, gets us out there. Why not? I'm not one to pass on shows, regardless of who the openers are or who the headliners are. For me, that's the selfishness, I guess. It gets my band out there. You know what I mean? I'll support anybody. Justin Bieber, I'll support him. Taylor Swift wants to call me, I'll support her. Whatever.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? Mike Tyson going on tour. He needs an opening act. I'll support him. It doesn't make a difference. I'm in. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, who are these guys? Like, you know, and I'm looking at all these likes. I got, never heard of them. Never heard of them. While we were on tour, I guess Facebook nailed them, and they went from like a couple 100,000 likes to like the 600 likes. And that was my first introduction to that whole, you could buy like thing. Because I got to Facebook late. I was a late comer to Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
And I missed that opportunity where everybody's going like. I've been struggling with the same numbers for years now. I mean, really, I have not been able to break. I mean, I don't even know what it takes now to break. I mean, I guess besides paying for something, but
you know, and that's my fear too, Mick. Like, because I understand in the business and where we are, it is important for promoters, booking agents, labels, for lack of a better word. I know it's important that they look at bands and they go, oh, they have, you know, 1 million likes or 500,000 likes. Like, I know that. I know that for a fact that stuff gets looked at. I know bands have been turned down for things because they didn't have a decent number of likes. Here's my fear. So if I buy those numbers, right, and I have a couple thousand likes, and some label comes around and goes, hey, Chris, we want to sign your band. We'll put out a record. And I go, great, because you have, you know, 100,000 of likes. And then I put out said record, and the record doesn't sell, or maybe it only sells, you know, 300 copies and a couple, you know, maybe 100 streams. And they go, well, listen, how do you have a couple 100,000 likes, but you've sold less than 1,000 units, whether it be CDs or streams? That's my fear, right? Same thing with a booking agent comes to me and goes, oh man, you guys got, you know, a couple 100,000 likes. I'm going to book your band, and then you get to the show and nobody's coming to the show. That's my fear. You know what I mean? At least if I have 100 likes and I sell 70 CDs or 70 streams, or if I have 100 likes and 40 people come to the show, at least, again, I know they're real. They might not be breaking down walls and, you know, touring the world, but at least I know they're real. So someone looks at it and goes, well, they only have 200 likes or 100 likes. And I go, yeah, but my 100 likes are real. You want to hire someone that has fake likes? Go right ahead. But what are you getting out of it? You're not getting anything out of it. You're getting the same. You're going to get the same amount of stuff from them that you get from us. The only difference is they have better numbers. And for what? Because they bought most of them. That's where my fear always lies. And I only know that because, again, hearing it through the grapevine, I know people that have been turned down for things because they didn't have the numbers, quote unquote, I did a show with a band that has great numbers. They're on a little bit of a label. This was about a year or so ago. Talked to them, did the show. Nobody was there. We, as the locals, drew more people than the touring band. And I said to the singer, how's the tour been going? He's like, oh, man, there's literally been nobody coming out. And I look at their likes and I go, how is that possible? Because when we got asked for the show, I had never heard them. It doesn't mean anything, like, just because I didn't hear from them. But obviously, I'm like, oh, all right, they're on I think they were on like a 10-day tour. I'm like, well, all right, cool. And again, I saw their likes and I'm like, well, yeah, let's try it. Like, let's give it a shot and see. Nobody showed. And from what I understand, the tour did nothing. And I go, well, so where'd all these likes go then? Are they real? Are they fake?
Well, I mean, here's the thing with that, too. I mean, and not in any defense. Well, I'll give you two things.
No,
two things. Okay. Like, I mean, again, with Facebook, with the likes, I mean, if you got likes in other countries, they're not coming to your Philadelphia show. If you got likes in California,
that's
so
that's
there's
fair.
some of that has to be taken in, too, because, I mean, Facebook is a worldwide market. So the fact that I have the likes that I have is because it's literally worldwide. It's not Philly-based.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? The other thing is a lot of these bands doing the Cosmic View, I do all the interviews and stuff, so I'm on all these press lists, and I'll get stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm inundated every single day with stuff.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah, I'm sure.
95% of it is bands and acts that no one's ever really heard of. These guys right out of the gate will buy these press packages to, because everybody's like trying to get something out there, and they create these stories. That's the thing. You got to create this story and get it out there, that type of thing, right? I've never been 100% on board with that, but anyway, the thing is I'll do interviews with pretty much anybody. I mean, that's why it was designed, because it's to talk to other artists and see what they're doing, not just the top guys, which is always great to do. Yeah. But I've learned some really great things with guys that are in the trench. Right? And you're like, hey, that's a cool way of looking at it. Or I've met guys that, in the Middle East that doing heavy metal music is against the law, and they're trying to figure out how to do it and not get imprisoned. Right?
Not get killed.
So, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Like, I got Spotify problems? Yeah, all right, you got it. You got it tough, bud. You got it tough. First world country problems, right? And then this guy's worrying about playing his guitar and having his hands cut off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Streams are his last concern.
You are listening to the Cosmick Voice with your hosts, Chris Natalini and Mick Michaels.
You're learning all these things, but what you find out is like some of these guys have a couple hundred likes, 73 likes, and they're trying to buy these packages. What a lot of the bands will do is they'll get management right out of the back. And nowadays, remember back in the day, like, unless you had a friend who wanted to manage you couldn't get management, because you had to prove something, you had to be somebody, something has to already be happening, and then management would look at you. Well, nowadays, you can buy management right out of the gate, and you're paying a fee, you're putting a retainer up right from the start. Listen, the manager decides to do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to promote this band, and part of that is buying these numbers. So some of these bands don't even know. They should know. They should know what's happening. But I've met artist upon artist and band upon band that have guys in place that are doing things, and they don't know. They just look at it like everybody thinks it's the 80s and they're rock stars and they have handlers, and they let the handlers do whatever they want. People still are buying into that model. Well, it doesn't work like that. If you're paying for it, you better know where your money's going and what you're getting out of it. Because I've watched guys buy touring support, and by that I mean they pay someone to book shows for them, and they don't even know where they're going. You drop them pins, it's like 10 hours here, another 13 hours here. They're flying all around. There's no rhyme or reason, and they're all over the place because they go, wow, I got to get better shows, so let me get somebody to book them. Well, no, I mean, you want better shows, and I know we're jumping into another topic, but this is the talking episode.
That's right.
You want better shows, then you get involved and you start booking them, and you say, look, I'm going to hit this area. I'm going to hit this area, and maybe I shouldn't travel more than 4 hours. I don't know, but that's what I mean. Bands need to be involved in these type of things, and that's what happens. All of a sudden, like, hey, this tour isn't happening. What? I don't understand. Well, two things. Either your management bought you numbers and made you believe something, or the booking company just started packing on shows, and maybe the venues don't draw, or maybe you don't draw.
It's true.
I understand you're on shows, and it's hit or miss. I'm going to say it again. If you've already established yourself, well, then this podcast and these talks aren't for you. You don't need a label. You don't need a distributor. You don't need a booking agency. You don't need a management. You can do all that yourself. Because if you got 100,000 likes on Facebook, even if you got 60,000 likes on Facebook and they're real, you can parlay that into a good career. Are you going to make Elon Musk money? No. Are you going to fund what you're doing? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Because the thing is if you can get 100 people a year to support your habit and just do the math, figure out how many times these people buy, what they're paying and stuff. If you have the product and then you parlay that into shows, meet and greets, so on and so forth, well, then you're doing okay. That number, you've increased that by 50%. Now it's 150 people. The following year, it's 200 people. Then it's 250 people. I'm just using numbers. But you see how it starts to change. The bottom line will start to change. But when you're right out of the gate, everybody wants to start at the top. The problem is starting at the top it's a long drop to the bottom. Chances are you ain't getting back up from that fall.
Yeah, that's 100%. Yep.
I've told this story multiple times on the show that I interviewed this band, and they were jet setting across the U.S., and they were playing with big name people, all these different places, and I was like, who are these guys? And again, like you said, just because I didn't hear of them doesn't mean that they don't exist. There's plenty of that stuff. Right? I don't have my thumb on the pulse of the young music today. The top 10, I'm not even sure if I would know anybody. And apparently it doesn't make a difference if I do or don't. But I did the interview and all that kind of stuff, and there was no real substance to the interview. It was bugging me so bad. I'm like, then I started self-reflecting and go, what the hell am I doing wrong? Like, I don't get it. Like, what am I doing wrong? Because these guys were at least half my age. I talked to their PR person. They go, they're buying on these shows. They have all these tickets. They just buy the tickets outright, and then they've been giving them away. And I go, did they have a backer? I go, no, it's like the one guitar player's been, paying for it. I go, and they're flying? They're from city to city?
Man.
They didn't even finish the year. They're getting on these shows, and they're not even direct support, as if they were touring with these bands. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, see what I mean? Like, everybody's fallen into that trap, that pitfall, instead of focusing on, one, crafting whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
And in my cases, I had to get back down to trimming my beard to fit my model. My beard has to fit the music. An artist, a band, has to take a personal interest in what they're doing and not depend on other people. Because I was told this once, nobody's going to care as much as you.
That's right. You made a good point, too. Like, when bands start, like, everybody wants to start at the top. And that is one of the truest things you've ever said.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get it, man. Being at the bottom is rough. It's terrible. It really is. It's a horrible feeling. Even after this band, we're going on 14 years. There's places we'll go into and we're still at the bottom. And we just accept it. It's like, here it is. All right. Well, here's our opportunity. You figure you get a little too old to have to keep showing yourself. But it's like, proving yourself. But all right, here we go, and we'll do it. If you're talented, if you're good, that stuff will show through immediately. People will see it. Sound guy will pick up on it. The venue will pick up on it. The stage and production manager, they'll pick up on it. You don't have to come in limousines and tour buses. Because if you are, you shouldn't be playing that place then, brother. You shouldn't be playing that place. Speaking of which, that band that I said that had 100,000, couple 100,000 likes, and then during the tour it dropped down to 600. We did a show in New York. They actually showed up in a limousine. Like, it was all part of the shtick. Well, that's expensive
Perception,
shtick.
though, man. Perception, though.
Yeah, well.
Perception. Doesn't make it right, but, I mean, that's...
I was playing... Listen, I played all the same venues that they did, and...
100%.
Listen, they weren't the top-notch venues that you would, that a couple 100,000 likes should warrant. That's what I'm saying. So, get involved, know where your money's going, know what you're getting involved in, make the best effort. If you got to tweak the system, and whatever that means to you, do it. It's more power to you. But if that comes back and bites you in the rear end, don't be surprised that you fall flat on your face. And case in point, prior to COVID, right? I don't even remember the guy or the band, but I remember the story. He had all this fake stuff going on, and he booked this big European tour, and nobody was showing. The pre-sales were nothing.
Yep, and it was all fake.
It was all fake. He even sold that routine to his band. that he hired.
Yeah.
They wound up
Yep.
walking off the tour, and
I
again,
forgot about that. Yeah,
I've said this before, not that I condone what he did, but I commend what he did in terms of creating this model. It's just a shame that he wasn't able to deliver it. If he put that same effort into, because again, here's a guy, he was a nobody, but he was smart enough to figure out a way to kind of manipulate the system. He just wasn't able to deliver. If he was able to deliver, that would have been one heck of a story. One heck of a story.
Yeah.
Prior to the internet days, right, that whole porcupine tree thing, that was all fake, and it wound up becoming something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So what do you think, buddy? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, brother. Nope. I think we're good. I think it's a way to head into the Christmas holiday. Hopefully Rob Halford, after he's done delivering all the toys, will shave his beard. And we're good. We're good.
All right, if you like that episode, check out some of our other episodes that actually have topics at www.thecosmickvoice.com. Step into the Cosmic Verse and fill that void. Thanks so much for listening. This is the Cosmic Voice. Be sure to check us out at thecosmickvoice.com. Like and follow us on Facebook at The Cosmic Voice. You can find The Cosmic Voice everywhere you listen to online podcasts, like Deezer, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, and so many more.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us. If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode. And for that, Mick and I would like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And we hope you enjoyed this new episode. And if you did, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, feel free to let us know what topics you'd like to see covered in future episodes of The Cosmic Voice. And you can get in touch with us through thecosmickvoice.com and, of course, all of the Cosmic Voice social medias. Take care and be safe.
You're listening to the Cosmic Voice. Music, talk, and nothing but business.